Hello, our dear listeners and viewers of Real Talk with Jesse and Sherrard. We are here. And
Good afternoon.
good afternoon, or whatever time it is that you are listening. It is afternoon for us. I know Jesse has worked a very long day, so thank you, Jesse, for being with all of us.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
And I have not, but I'm just bad at it right now. But we're gonna muster through. So today is real talk. Our pets, our self-care. Oh, my lighting's really bad. We're just gonna have to roll with that too. I'm just gonna look like an apparition. So today is real talk. Our pets, our self-care, and we're gonna talk about our pets, how pets are a part of self-care, and yeah, just chat with y'all. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I was just saying, so I've got Mikey, my puppy, who I know I've talked about, with me, sitting by me. And he needs this right now because I was just trying to install a carbon monoxide detector and could not figure out the battery. So I just kept beeping this box very loudly in his ear, and he's not thrilled. But he's not mad at me about it, but he's not thrilled.
Well, at least he's not mad at you.
Yeah. Okay, I can't do this lighting anymore. I think I need to fix this. Okay, Jesse, you just take it from here for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so we were gonna talk about our cats, our pets. It could be any type of pet, that you that helps you. Mine, I have four cats. I have Ruffles, Skylar, Drake, and Sammy. And Ruffles and Skylar actually registered for my emotional support animals, for my anxiety. They help in different ways. But Ruffles is my main one. I've had him now for almost 5 years now, and he is my baby. I have a shirt with him on it. My Crocs have all my cats on it. But he's just very calming. That's what pet therapy is to me. Like they help me when I'm, feel overwhelmed or upset. It's almost like he knows because he'll come lay with me and cuddle with me. The two kittens, Sammy and Drake, they just bite me. But I think that's their way of showing love. And well, Skylar, I feel like he needs us more than we need him because everything scares him. So we're his emotional support. But it's just nice to have that, connection with them and that love that you feel for them and from them. It's to me, it's really important, and I think a lot of people, bond with their animals, and some people even like the animals more than people. So I think it's just kind of important to have that. And so I'm lucky that I have four wonderful, sweet little angels. So yeah, Ruffles is definitely my number one though.
Aw, well, I love Ruffles. Got a soft
Yes.
heart.
And he's named after my favorite. Well, I don't eat chips anymore, but he is named after my favorite chips. That was Ruffles, the cheddar and sour, I think it's just the cheddar kind. And so that's where he got his name from.
Ruffles are pretty amazing.
Yeah, especially the cheddar kind. So.
Yeah. They've got the perfect ridges, like any other type of rigged chip. Just they're good, but they're not the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I've got Mikey. Let me see if I can you put me. I can't make my lighting better. I tried. If anybody's watching this, I apologize. It's
Oh,
Mikey. Hey,
aw.
Bubby. Say hi. Say hi to the audience. He's,
He's
he's,
like,
he's not, he's there. He just collapsed right there. Um, so he's like half laying on me, half not. That's how he
Aw.
likes. Mikey likes to put his butt on someone, and I think he does that for comfort because he is also a registered emotional support animal. And I agree. I think it's like it is so beneficial. And Mikey really helps me so much with my anxiety. Although it was ironic because when I first got Mikey, it almost like I almost like filtered all of my anxiety like into him.
Mhm.
Like I was just always afraid something bad was going to happen to him. I think because Mikey was like my first pet as like an adult, not just like a
Yeah.
dog I had with my parents or whatever. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is all on this little helpless creature. Like it's on me to make sure he's safe. So I was like always paranoid that like there would be something on the floor he'd eat or something like that that would
Yeah.
make him sick. He's also very food motivated, so like you we have to be because he eats everything. Um, but it's hard to believe because it seems like I've had Mikey forever, but we've actually only had him 10 months now.
Oh, wow.
Um, so Mikey was my grandfather's dog. And my grandfather loved dogs, loves them so much. And so he adopted Mikey. My parents went with my poppy to an animal shelter. They had looked around for a little bit and he just wasn't like clicking with the dog. You know, they had said like you'll just know when it's your dog. And he's like, I don't know. There's so many great dogs here, but I'm not having that like moment with one. And they were like, "Oh, wait, we forgot. Well, we have one in the office with us because everybody loved his name was Blueberry at the time. Everybody loved Blueberry. And so they went to the office to go see him. Mikey is actually a twice removed foster puppy because he ran away twice. So
Oh, wow.
it's hard to think of this little like pampered puppy on the streets because he lives a very spoiled life. But instantly Poppy was like, that is my dog. Like, that's him, and adopted him. And they were going to rename him. They thought Blueberry just didn't quite fit. So Poppy asked my dad to help name him. My dad is one of the biggest LSU fans in the world. So named him Mikey, like Mike the Tiger. And then I think it fits because Mikey is extremely food motivated. So it's like, give it to Mikey. He'll eat anything from the old cereal commercial. Um, but it was great timing. We got Mikey right around my birthday last year. And that was right when Lewis had that big back surgery last year and he was
Yeah.
stuck in the bed for a while. So he got a little puppy to keep him company. And then he really was just such a place of like ease and comfort for both of us. And I have my counselor IC, shout out to Bonnie, and we talked about it. And she was like, I absolutely think that you should have him registered as an emotional support animal. I'll write a letter for you. We talked it through what that means and things like that. And then he's so great. I mean, he truly like calms my nervous system in a way
Hmm.
I can feel. And then he just like knows like when I'm upset or even if I'm anxious and I don't even know it yet. Like he's like comes over to me and he just like gently like kind of like puts himself on me. Like it's not like he's like trying to get attention. He's just like
Yeah.
letting me like know that he's there. And then even, I know I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but I facilitate via links survivors of suicide loss support group. So that's a grief support group. And I facilitate that from home. It's virtual, but Mikey will usually be in the room with me and he will come and like nuzzle up next to me during that group because I absolutely love doing that group and it's such a privilege and an honor to facilitate a grief group like this. But it
Yeah.
is a lot of emotions and so he'll come and just kind of keep me company during it. The group all know him. So because he'll just pop in to say hello sometimes too. But and it's like I'd heard about people having emotional support animals, and I always believed in it and was always for it.
Yeah.
But then, like, since having Mikey, like, I remember my mom even telling me about it, where she's like, no, like, he is such your emotional support animal. I can't, like, imagine you without him now. Because he's just, oh, I mean, one, it's like I love him so much and he's so cute, but he really gives so much back to me, I feel like, with just being such a just a calm, like steadying force in that it's like he doesn't get upset when I'm upset. Like when I've had dogs when I was younger, it almost seemed like they got upset if I was upset. He like stays calm and it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm here. We're okay,
Oh,
you know?
that's sweet. Yeah. Yeah. And they always say like petting an animal, like whatever animal it is, like it can calm your heart rate. And like it's weird because like when I have my anxiety attacks, Ruffles will lay on my chest and he'll like nuzzle me and I'll just pet him and I can feel my heart rate. Like you can literally feel it going down. Like you can feel I can feel my like nervous system starting to be like, you're okay, you're okay. And I'm just petting him. And then I read somewhere that cats, like I don't know if it's true or not, they know like some cats are like in tune with their person, and so when they know they're having like that heart or like nervous issue, will try to lay on you or get next to you and try to regulate your heart rate with theirs, almost kind of like you guys are steady beating together. And I really think that's what he's doing because like there'll be times where like my heart, I know it's like at least 130, 140. Like it's super high because my anxiety is just, I unfortunately get the physical symptoms, and I won't even have to call him. He'll just come into the room and I'll just like kind of be like bundled up and I'm telling myself, hey, you're okay, calm down. And he will literally like lay with me and like purr on me, and he's not trying to get love or trying to get attention. He just wants me to know that he's there. And it's so weird how it does work. Like I will literally start to feel like I can breathe. I'll literally like I can feel my heart rate starting to slow. And so I'm a huge believer that animals of all sorts have common effects on people because my dad has a dog, and when he lost his dad, um, and which was my grandpa, it was really hard on all of us, but that's his dad, so that's a different type of bond. And watching like he got a dog, that kind of like what you went through, like with your poppy went through. He didn't really see any kind of dog. He was just kind of visiting the shelter, and the dog that he got, his name was Dusty, and he just jumped on my dad. And he's like the little type of lassie dog, the border collie, I think he's called. And he just instantly, like, you could tell my dad, like, was instantly like just happy, and they did things together. And the dog unfortunately passed away, and he got another dog named Daxton, same breed of dog. And they're like, that's like my little brother. I mean, he's so spoiled. I call him my little brother, but he's like in love with my dad. Like, he follows my dad everywhere, and I think it helps my dad with his grieving and like getting through stuff. So I really believe that animals are like, once you have that connection, I really feel like they can be and are healing for you. Like, I think it's one of the best therapy type coping, that you can have, because I think it's really like you really feel that bond and that love, and I think that's really important.
And I think they really do like sense those things like that. When like so Mikey came to live with me before my grandfather, before Poppy passed away, because he had dementia and his dementia had gotten really bad. Poppy had already said before his dementia had gotten so bad that he wanted Lewis, my husband, and I to take Mikey when the time came, and which we were honored about. And so his dementia had progressed to where he had to go to a memory care facility. Mikey still went with him there. Everybody there loved him. But then it got to where, he couldn't really even recognize that Mikey was there anymore. And then they were afraid Mikey was going to be a tripping hazard.
Yeah.
Um, so, my mom and aunt and uncle decided it was time, that we transitioned Mikey over to living with me, knowing that if there was ever a moment where Poppy, needed him back or they sensed that he could need him, of course, that's where he would go.
Right.
Um, but so my grandfather lived for a little bit longer after Mikey came to live with me, but the day that he passed away, like I swear, like Mikey knew. Um, like I literally did like pull him aside to like talk to him and tell him and to be like, but Poppy is always here and he loves you and he's with you. And I was telling my mom, I was like, I think he knows. Like it's like he could
Yeah.
like tell something, and I think almost kind of like babies, like pets might be just like more in tune with that, like kind of other
Yeah.
side, like the spiritual side of things.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. And I know like when we got Ruffles, when we moved to Tennessee, he was, we rescued him right before we moved to Tennessee, and he was at a shelter, and he was really sick, but he was just meowing, and he was just so loving while he was sick. And when we got him, adopted him, we took him, of course, and got him maple syrup stuff that made him all better. But we got him a brother, and his name was Max. And we noticed that Max wasn't like growing. Like he had, they called it cat COVID, but I think it's like FIP or FLP or something. But we didn't know what it was. And the doctor just kept like running tests and wouldn't do the blood test to check for the FIP. Like we looked it up and we saw it online, and it was called like the cat COVID or something. It was crazy. But like we had to like literally keep diapers on him to change, and Ruffles was like let him, like, Ruffles started cleaning him. And like when he passed away, Ruffles, he's wild. He's a happy cat. He talks all the time. You almost gotta like beg him to be quiet. So because he just meows all the time because he's a chit chatter. And when Max passed away, like when we came home, he wasn't like that. He wasn't eating, he wasn't really playing, and he was like almost like circling the house, and he didn't understand. I think he knew, but he didn't understand where he went. And so when we got his ashes back and we kept some of his fur, we put Ruffles on the bed and put the fur on the bed and the ashes, and Ruffles just laid his head on the ashes and his paw on the fur, and he just laid there for like a while and like wouldn't let us, like that's the only time he was ever aggressive. Like we tried to like pick up the stuff and he like hissed at us and like bit me. But I think he was like, I don't know, it was weird because I've never seen like animals do that. And so like we we put the ashes up finally. He got up and he was a little bit more like himself, but not really. And then we rescued someone who was giving away kittens at like 4 weeks. They said they were in a bad situation and they were posting everywhere. And we went and rescued this little kitten because they were just gonna put him on the street if they couldn't take him. If people wouldn't come get him, they wouldn't even willing to take him to the shelter. And so we ended up getting Skylar. And since Skylar was early, obviously Ruffles is a boy, but he would let Skylar suckle on him. And and I'm like, I don't think that's normal. He's a boy. I think he thinks that's his mom. But Ruffles really took in Skylar, and it's so cute because their bond today, Skylar's only 1 year younger than Ruffles. They are inseparable. Like they still cuddle each other, they still lay each other. They don't do the suckle thing, even though that did last for a very long time, probably too long. But Ruffles just has this like thing about him, like where he wants to take care of like everybody. I feel like because when we got the two kittens, we got the runt, and so he's a little special. His name is Drake. He's a little special, and he was like suckling on Ruffles, and Ruffles allowed it. And I was like, Ruffles, you're a man cat. Like, you're not their mama. And he would just, meow at me and he would just let it happen. None of them do it anymore. It's all over, and they all grew out of it. But it's just cute to me that, like, he, did that for them. But I know that I think that's the first time like I realized that like wow, like cats really are in tune with certain things because he literally was depressed. Like he was sad that his, little brother basically was gone because he wasn't playing, he wasn't eating. And as humans, when we lose somebody or we go through something and we have that, we kind of have some of those same traits where we don't eat or it's hard for us to eat or we're not ourselves or it's hard for us to get out of bed and do our normal activities, and that's how he was acting. And it's just, I think it just blew my mind how, because I've had cats my whole life and pets, and I've never seen them like be in tune like that. And if they were, maybe I just didn't notice. But even when we were hurting over Max, like Ruffles still tried to like, comfort us, but he really needed the comforting. So it's really cool to see like when you experience that, you're just like, wow, like it almost just, I don't know, it just like changes your mind the way you look at animals sometimes. Like I've always loved animals and, thought they were magical and had, superpowers that we don't have, but seeing like he went through what people go through when they go through a loss like really touched me because I mean it hurt me because I hate seeing him so sad, and then seeing him, take care of another kitten and him, become his old self again. And it's just kind of amazing. You don't realize like how extraordinary these animals are, and a lot of animals for that matter. And it just really like touched my heart. And like Ruffles has like been like that since day one. Like he's a very like giving cat as far as like his affection and love. So he's just really important to me. Like there, I just couldn't imagine my life without him. You know, like he's just so amazing, and it's just he's just one of the best cats ever.
Yeah, I think like I feel that way about Mikey, and I think like, you know, I always had dogs growing up at my parents' house, with them, but it's like so different. I feel like once you have a dog or a cat that's like just yours.
Hmm.
And because it's like I always knew my friends had dogs or whatever, things like that. And like my friends that would be like obsessed with their dogs. I'm like, I think this is cute, but like I don't really get it. And then I am too obsessed with Mikey. So, but it's like, how can you not be? He's just this adorable little ball of love and fur. And I think that pets just like truly, they give so much. Like, I mean, I know pets get like Mikey is clearly very spoiled. But I think that they do give so much back,
Hmm.
and in such a selfless way. And I feel like I would be remiss not to mention, so my parents' dog, Addie, Adia, and she's their favorite between the two of us. I'm an only human child. But they literally, my parents call me daughter number two, and Addie is daughter number one. So, or she is pretty great though, so I get it. But yeah, these things happen. But I get, it just is one of those things where it's just it's like the most like selfless love I feel like there is with like pets, because they just adore their owners. And I think it's a lot that they kind of take on these
Hmm.
emotions, and that they're not just kind of like, oh, you're not actually wanting to like cuddle or play right now, so I'll see you later. Like, when
Yeah.
their owner's upset, that they are like, no, I'm gonna be here for you. I'm gonna help you. And I know we wanted to mention, even like when we've worked on the crisis lines, I mean, I can remember several specific calls where someone was talking about their pet as like kind of their lifeline, like
Yeah.
that's what's helping them cope. In some cases, that was what was keeping them alive. And I think we just wanted to take a moment to really validate that for anybody who is really struggling, and you do feel like your pet is your lifeline, that you're not alone in that, and that is extremely valid. And if you are ever reaching out for support on something like 988, reminder, 988 available through phone and text 24 hours a day. V-Link is very proud to answer 988 in Louisiana. But that if that's, when we're talking about coping, when we're talking about what's giving you strength, if it's your pet, like never hesitate to say that.
Yeah.
That is something that is extremely valuable, extremely normal, and something that we definitely want to hear about. And who doesn't love hearing about people's pets too?
Yeah.
But that's very, very real. Many people um, find that in times of real struggle, that's what they can find as their strength and their support.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I was on the lines, like that was honestly one of the number one answers I would hear when I would be, just trying to, find somebody, something that they could think of that might keep them here, or they would be talking to me and they were like, literally, the only reason why I'm haven't taken my life is because of my pet, because who's gonna love it like I do? Or, I don't want my pet to wonder what happened to me, or I don't want, I mean, it's just so amazing. Like, you don't really realize that, that is something that's so important, and when, like I said, it's one of the number one answers that I hear. And, I talked to a lot of people and they were just like, my pet wouldn't have anybody and I don't want my pet to go through that. Or, they'll start talking about their pet and they'll be like, I may be alone, but I at least have, my pet. And we'll talk about that. And then, they'll share some stories and it's really touching because I think sometimes things are taken for granted. And I think pets sometimes can be overlooked. But then, like, when you really sit back and think about things, like, they really are loyal and they show an unconditional love that, a lot of people don't get, and they get it for the first time with their pet. And so, to a lot of people, that is really the only thing that they have, but it's enough for them to stay. And that's what I think is remarkable. And, definitely never be ashamed or, feel like you can't talk about your pet if you're ever in a crisis or having anything, you're going through anything, and that's your coping skill, or that's what helps you get through the day, or, we're definitely here to hear for it, listen to it. We're there with you. I mean, my cat, I look forward to getting off work and, laying with my cat. Like, I got off earlier and I literally took like an hour and a half nap on the beanbag with Ruffles.
A
Like,
cat nap, as I
yeah,
say.
cat nap. And like I like laid down and he jumped up there and he was like, "All right, mom, it's time to go to night night." And literally we slept for an hour and a half, got up and got ready to do the podcast. And it was funny because even earlier I took like I've been so tired. So like on my 45-minute break, I took a nap and he laid with me. And it's just things like that that it just makes me smile because, knowing that other people have that with their animals and stuff, I think it's really important. So, like, I always share my stories when I'm talking to people. I'm like, yeah, my cat this, my cat that, and they'll tell me theirs. And, it's just cool that there's a bond and that you can have that in your life. And never feel like we can't talk about it on 988 because 988, they're here for it all. So,
Yeah, and
never
it is, I
feel
mean,
like,
it is a reason. Like, I mean, I know for me, when we've gone through, really tough times, stuff we've shared on the podcast with stuff with fertility and things like that, when I've had days that are really dark, like knowing that, like literally Mikey's like a reason to get up out of bed because I need to feed
yeah.
him and I need to get outside and I need to walk him. And like that type of inspiration for something for the day is so good, and then it leads to things that are actually so good for you, like
Yeah.
having that connection with something, sharing that energy, then walking him, so then that's getting me outside and getting some air and some sunshine, and all of that helps. Just, I mean, just scientifically proven with your mental health, and
Hmm.
but starting from that thing of being like, I have to get out of bed because he needs me, and
Right.
yeah, we just don't want to understate that pets are really important. And when your pets, when your dog, when your cat, when your fish, when your whatever it is, feels like your reason, that's very valid,
Yeah.
and lean into it. That's a very real thing. And I just want to thank all the pets out there. Y'all are an important
Yes.
part of this world.
Y'all are. Yes, you are.
All right, Jesse, should we do our sign off?
Let's do it.
You even do it? You ready? Come here. Come see. This has been Mikey and Ruffles for Real Talk with Jesse and Sherrard. No filters,
No
no
fluff.
fluff,
Just real
just real
talk.
talk. All right, take care, everybody.
Take care until next time.